12 rounds, Crawford win, I think.
Between them, Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit.
Terence Crawford, Canelo.
Yeah, I believe Terence Crawford is going to be in top shape, and I believe he...
Boxing legends can't stop talking about how ridiculously good Terence Crawford is. Antonio Gates didn't hold back. He straight up said Crawford's winning because he's the best boxer alive. No debate, whether it's speed, technique, or brain power in the ring. Crawford's got it all, and he keeps dropping jaws. The guy has crushed it in multiple weight classes, and that's not normal, that's elite. With more big names backing him, it's getting harder for anyone to deny the truth. Crawford is a nightmare matchup, and most fighters are scared to even say his name.
Terence Crawford, Canelo.
Yeah, I believe Terence Crawford is going to be in top shape, and I believe he's good enough to outpoint Canelo. But I believe the power would be a challenge, if you will. So I'm going to say Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford?
Because I think Terence Crawford is the best boxer in the world.
Israel Madrimov, who's actually been in the ring with Terence Crawford, brings a rare dose of real talk to the debate. He's felt Crawford's tactical genius up close, and he's not shy about where he stands. Madrimov is all in on Crawford, especially in a full 12-round war. He argues that as the fight drags on, Crawford's insane stamina, pinpoint accuracy, and ability to adjust would slowly tear apart Canelo Alvarez's game. And let's be real, when a fighter who's gone rounds with Crawford says this, it hits different. That kind of insidering validation isn't hype, it's a warning.
If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think.
Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, what do you think about that fight if they did fight? Looks like it's up for September.
Good fight. You know, if 168 pounds, I think it's Canelo, but it's Canelo better technique because 50-50. If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think. If knockout, it's Canelo.
What makes Crawford so difficult to fight against?
He has power, smart, in more practical.
He has more experience. He's very experienced.
Amir Khan, a seasoned vet known for his speed and elite matchups, brings a sharp take on the defensive gap between these two. He calls out something many avoid. Canelo has a habit of eating clean shots when the pressure's on. Crawford sees him as a defensive mastermind, rarely rattled, rarely touched. But here's the kicker. Khan doesn't just praise Crawford's defense. He hammers home his strength and control. Crawford can dictate the pace without getting hit, and that makes him a straight-up problem. Khan makes it clear Crawford doesn't need to beat Canelo to prove anything. His greatness is already stamped.
Fight them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean. They both hit hard because, and you can see the strength when I was fighting against Crawford. He is very strong as well. So, look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go for fighting Canelo?
Conor Benn's reaction to this potential clash says it all. He's in awe, just like the rest of the boxing world. His tone hits on the raw intensity and massive stakes tied to this fight. We're talking about two champions, built from completely different worlds, with styles that couldn't be more opposite. This isn't just a match, it's a collision of power, pride, and legacy.
With Crawford going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is...
Canelo. Yeah.
Oh, Canelo. I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't a fighter who just relies on his power. And then Canelo, you know, when he's fought Belenga, then fought Ryder, Munguia. It's even. I think it'd be a 50-50 fight if Crawford fought Canelo.
Rolly Romero, never one to sugarcoat anything, is betting on Crawford to come out on top in this high-stakes showdown. And he's not just talking to stir hype, he's watched closely. Romero clearly sees Crawford's slick timing, smooth footwork, and deadly counterpunching as the exact tools to dismantle Canelo's tight, pressure-heavy style. While the crowd's hyped on Canelo's power, Romero's doubling down on something sharper: Crawford's precision and pure fight IQ.
Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Really? Yeah?
Now, I'll tell you like this, I mean, the weight division things, you know, but I hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Why do you want to see Crawford beat the ish out of Canelo?
I just hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Why? Like Canelo, is it because of the last fight? Like you haven't been a fan of Canelo, or like why? Like you like Crawford that much? Took your coffee.
What Canelo did on that day was disrespectful to boxing. It was just simply disrespectful to boxing in every way. Canelo.
Veteran trainer Teddy Atlas cuts through the noise with a deeper breakdown. He's not impressed by flashy records or padded resumes. For Atlas, greatness lives in the stuff you can't measure, staying laser-focused under fire, delivering when it matters most, and having that internal fire that burns hottest in the biggest moments. And in Crawford, Atlas sees all of it. Despite Canelo's long list of achievements, Atlas isn't convinced that's what wins the fight. He believes Crawford's mental edge, that raw, unshakable grit, might just be the difference maker.
He's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
The face-off between the two caught a lot of people off guard visually. The size difference just wasn't there. Even though Canelo's been at the heavier weights longer, Crawford stood his ground looking just as physically dialed in. This wasn't some rushed jump in weight like we've seen from others. Crawford's not winging it, he's calculating every move, building his body for this exact fight. He's not just going up in pounds, he's leveling up in purpose, in prep, and in danger.
Going at it. And yes, weight class is a little bit different for Terence Crawford, but he's not fighting what I would consider to be a normal 168-pound fighter. Canelo is not that, right? Canelo has moved up multiple weight classes to get to 168. So they're really, when you look at him standing toe-to-toe here, you don't see a massive size difference for Canelo. In fact, you kind of see the opposite. But we also have something we're going to be breaking down when it comes out, a Pierce Morgan Uncensored between Canelo and Bud Crawford. I hope that they get these two on ESPN.
David Benavidez brings a sharp strategic edge to the debate. He respects Canelo's power and ring dominance, but he's not writing Crawford off, not even close. To Benavidez, Crawford's relentless work ethic and bulletproof mindset are the X factors that could flip the whole story. This isn't just about muscles and knockout reels, it's about mentality. And in that lane, Benavidez believes Crawford has the edge to shake up the sport and shock the world.
Ring Magazine, which is owned by Turkey, reported that Canelo and Crawford have agreed to the September date and that it's essentially on. What is your I know this has been rumored and talked about, but now it seems like a done deal. What's your reaction to this?
It's a good fight. It's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for, I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
I know you said, he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, 5, just because
Crawford
of the
is
size.
good. Crawford is good, and
of course.
I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long, long time. And Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight, so I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long, long time. So, Crawford, when he has with a person that has a big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, and you stay working for a long time, you have a
Alexander Usyk, the king of dismantling bigger men, throws his support behind Crawford, and that speaks volumes. Usyk knows firsthand that size doesn't mean much when skill is on another level. He sees Crawford's razor-sharp timing, slick feints, and seamless stance switches as the weapons that could outmaneuver a slower, more predictable Canelo. Coming from a guy who's made giants look average, Usyk's take is clear. In a chess match like this, brains beat brawn.
Potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight? Who do you
like? Terence, it's
wow.
My friend, but it's crazy man. Listen, I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo.
Yes, Terence win. But listen, Terence, it's different man. Terence work in two sides. Two sides.
Right.
And
right.
Switch hitter.
Yes.
He's a switch hitter.
Yes.
Right and left. But it's very smart man. It's very, very, very smart. But feel distance and plays like
Adjustments,
spacing,
exactly.
boxing.
You don't think the weight difference will be a factor too much?
Mario, you're asking him?
That's why I'm asking, exactly.
Mike Tyson brings a mix of respect and realism to the table. He's all in on Crawford's brilliance, his smart movement, sniper-like timing, and ability to adjust on the fly. But Tyson doesn't sugarcoat the darker side of boxing. He warns that moving up in weight isn't just about skill, it's about surviving heavier shots and dealing with raw power when it becomes the great equalizer. Tyson's not doubting Crawford's ability to win, he's questioning what price Crawford might pay to do it.
I just came from Crawford's last fight.
In L.A.?
Yes.
You went to it. What'd you think?
I thought that was a tough guy, and that guy gave, you know what I mean? I'm glad that he came back the last 2 rounds. You know, that guy was very awkward and strong.
Super awkward.
Yeah, and this guy fights anybody. Crawford fights anybody. Yeah. I don't agree with that, you know, because you got to look good in order for you won't mess up your next fight. Because if you fight this guy, you don't look good, the fans say, I don't want, he's not going to look good at winning with this guy. You got to constantly have fights that you know and fight a guy that's going to make you look good. The guy got to pressure you or something. You know, this guy's running around. Crawford's not used to this kind of movement and
Weird
stuff.
fit.
Yeah, awkward as a motherfucker.
You think are you ready? You think the world's ready for Crawford Canelo?
I support Crawford and Canelo both, but
I mean, it's the fight people want to see, right?
Nah, I don't think they want to see him fight Canelo. You think so? You think they want to see him fight Canelo?
Yeah, for sure.
It's why I think it's what Crawford wants too, right?
He wants to fight him too.
I think he wants to make history.
It's a big fight.
Well, to make history is worth doing it.
Yeah, I think he wants to. You ever follow the WWE?
I love WWE.
Shocker Stevenson, a rising technician in his own right, backs Crawford without hesitation. He's not buying into the talk that Crawford's too small for this fight. In Stevenson's eyes, people are sleeping on just how strong and physically imposing Crawford really is. But beyond that, he believes the skill gap is massive, so wide that Canelo simply won't be able to close it. Stevenson's support isn't just hype. It shows how deeply Crawford is respected by the new wave of elite fighters who know exactly what greatness looks like.
Say about that.
I think skills pay the bills. Yeah. And I feel like, truthfully, he's not as little as people think. Like, people think he's like very small.
He cut weight to get to 147, 154.
Yes. Yeah. He's not as small as like people think. It's just he look like it. Yeah. So like if you see him in
person
and he get on a scale or something, you wouldn't believe that's his weight.
I told somebody the other day, he might get on the scale weighing like 166, 167 fighting Canelo, and people wouldn't believe how ripped up and cut up he'll still look. He won't look like he's overweight Terence Crawford. He gonna look like a solid Terence Crawford.
I think he beat Canelo though. I've been saying I remember when he fought when they fought. Go watch an interview. I think Terence Crawford would beat Canelo.
Okay, I wouldn't say that.
A long time ago. Yeah. No cap.
I did tell him after the Smith fight, I said, man, go get Canelo. You the greatest. Yeah. This era.
For sure.
Yeah, it's no question.
No question, yes.
Actually, back to the you and Terence working together, because you've shared everything you've learned from him. There was fans doing their homework in the Avanesian fight and in the Spence fight saying, actually, it looks like Terence may have taken a couple things from Shakur as well, not just Shakur taking things from Terence.
No, that's for sure.
Sports journalist Ariel Helwani widens the lens with a key point. Many are ignoring Canelo's body is slowing down. While Canelo starts to fade physically, Crawford looks like he's hitting his prime. Not just in skills, but in comfort at this. Higher weight, Helwani zeroes in on Crawford's adaptability, especially his switch-hitting style as a major threat that could rattle a slower, less mobile Canelo. He's not calling it a blowout, but he sees this fight being decided by something deeper than power timing, precision, and pure ring IQ.
Crawford, switch hitter. He did all right in his first fight at 54, but now he'll get more comfortable as a bigger guy. You know, he's actually not that small, this, that, and the other. Yesterday on my program, I spoke to David Benavidez, and I asked him about this fight, and his response surprised me. I want to play this clip for you and get your response to David's answer. Here it is.
It's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for, I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, you know, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said, like, he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say like 25 just because of the size.
Crawford is good, and
of course.
I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long, long time. And, you know, Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight. So I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long, long time. So
Andre Ward, who's been there, done that when it comes to big fights and jumping weight classes, believes Crawford's real weapon isn't just his talent, it's his mental armor. Ward sees a fighter who's not just physically ready, but mentally wired to handle the chaos that comes with a mega showdown like this. For him, it's Crawford's ice-cold composure and surgical precision under pressure that will tip the scales. Ward's message is clear: the mind wins wars, and Crawford's mind is built for battle.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Nonito Donaire shines a light on one of Crawford's most underrated weapons, his footwork. He sees it as the key to breaking down Canelo's flat-footed pressure. In Donaire's view, Crawford's ability to make Canelo turn, miss, and constantly reset could be a nightmare for a fighter who hates chasing. That slick movement, slipping in and out of danger while still staying in control offensively, might just be the game changer in a fight many are expecting to go down to the wire.
Canelo's a stronger guy, the bigger guy, but in the fight with a guy that moves around, and if Crawford uses his skills and his legs and his technique and just his ability, I think he can win. He can win the fight in decision, as long as he doesn't get hit with those big shots from Canelo.
Dimitri Bivol, one of the few who's actually beaten Canelo, sees Crawford as a real danger. He points to Crawford's speed, reflexes, and defensive sharpness as major assets. And while Bivol doesn't downplay the huge jump in weight, he also knows some fighters are just different builds to break the rules and rise through divisions. In his eyes, Crawford is one of those rare few who can adjust fast and force his style on anyone, no matter how big or powerful they are.
I think Crawford wants this fight a lot. He wants this fight, and I think he will be more active than Canelo's previous opponent, and he has different mentality. He has champion mentality. I think the fight will be much more interesting.
What do you make of the weight in that fight, the weight difference?
I think Crawford will not let Canelo just walking on the ring when he wants, you know, because we could see this fight. Canelo did everything. When he wanna rest, he could rest easy, you know, in this fight. Yeah, of course, when he wants to work, that guy didn't give him work. He did just rest. And I think with Crawford, it will be harder to rest.
Who do you think wins?
I don't know. It's a very interesting fight, but I don't know. We'll see.
This upcoming super fight has the entire boxing world buzzing for good reason. It's not just about, it's a bold statement. Legacies are on the line, styles are clashing, and divisions are crossing. This isn't just about belt, about power, pride, and who really runs the game. Fans and analysts are divided right down the middle, turning it into one of the most fiercely debated matchups boxing has seen in years.
Finally happening, y'all. We have Terence Bud Crawford going up against Canelo Alvarez on September 12th, and this is what boxing fans have been waiting for. Terence Bud Crawford has some of the best hands I have ever seen. But this man right here with this red beard got some of the most powerful punches that boxing has ever seen. This is going to be a fight that we all have been waiting for. These are the bouts that make UFC, because in the UFC, the best fight the best, but in boxing, that seldom happens. Like why haven't we had Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis yet? This is sometimes boxing, for whatever reason, decides not to give us the fights that we actually want to see, but finally, thanks to some Saudi money, clearly, we are going to get one of the biggest boxing events of the last 10 years, all right? This is like Manny versus Floyd, but at the prime of their careers. I'm excited for this. Y'all let us know who you think is going to win. Is it Terence Bud Crawford or Canelo Alvarez?
For Terence Crawford, this fight isn't about the money or the media buzz, it's about legacy. He's chasing the kind of challenge that separates greats from legends. Facing a bigger, more seasoned champion like Canelo isn't about silencing doubters, it's about pushing the limits of everything he's built. This isn't some career strategy, it's a personal mission. And if Crawford wins, he's not just making a statement, he's etching his name into the highest level of boxing history.
I think me and Canelo will make for a great fight. It's the best fight in boxing right now. And you got two first ballot Hall of Famers going head to head with each other. And everybody want to see how Terence is going to do going up 2 more weight classes.
A lot of people making a big deal about the weight. You just walked in here You don't look like a 54 right now.
I just think a lot of people is adopting other people's thoughts.
I've seen Canelo in person.
Yeah.
Even for him, 168 is a big weight class.
Facts. And he's always the smallest person in his division. When you got Usyk fighting Tyson Fury, you know, Tyson Fury was the massive fighter over Usyk.
I'm not even so sure Canelo will be the bigger guy.
He'd probably be thicker, but I'm taller. You know, he have his strong points in the fight. I have mine, so